Hello again, ESL learners of the world, and welcome back to one more episode of the ESL for You podcast. I'm your host, teacher, and friend, Fabi, and today we're going to talk about how negative emotions could potentially lead to success. So, have you ever wondered if negative emotions like jealousy and anger could actually lead you to success? So if you have, stay tuned because today we're diving deep into this topic, and you are also going to be learning a lot of new idioms and vocabulary related to negative emotions and success. All right, so the first idiom I have for you is the green-eyed monster. So green-eyed monster refers to jealousy. For example, she couldn't help but feel like the green-eyed monster when her friend got a promotion. So sometimes I feel like the green-eyed monster. I don't know when. I think when somebody who has a crappy podcast has more followers. Well, you know what? Actually, this podcast, I'm recording using a different software. I used to be able to record all my podcasts on Anchor and directly into my smartphone. But now I have to do it with this condenser mic and this other software that I just downloaded because Anchor is gone. I don't know, it used to be Spotify for podcasters and you could directly record into your smartphone, but now you can't. So if this episode sounds strange or different, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm doing my best to bring you quality content. So I'm going to try to edit this podcast as perfectly possible. So, well, anyway, back to our episode, the green-eyed monster. So let's give you another example. My cousin felt like the green-eyed monster when she realized her mother had bought a new car to her brother and not her. So this is jealousy, you guys. And what is jealousy? Well, actually, it's not a bad emotion. This is what I was discussing with my friend the other day, too. There are no good and bad emotions, people. They're just emotions. They're just energy. And you know that energy can be transmuted or transformed into something else. So when you have negative emotions, you have two options. Either you dive into the negative emotions and you stay there, you make them your prison, you become their prisoner, or you use them as fuel to push you into success. So it is only natural and we're only human. When this emotion arises and we want something that others have achieved, instead of letting it bring us down, we can use it as fuel to set higher goals and strive for our own achievements. So every time I see that maybe somebody I don't like very much bought a new car or went on vacation to some other country, I don't feel like the green-eyed monster. I kind of feel good about people achieving their goals and everything. But sometimes jealousy is good, people, because let's say that this woman with this crappy podcast, she has 1,000 or 100,000 followers and I only have 200. Which is my situation right now. Let's say that that's the case. So I will feel like the green-eyed monster and I'll feel jealous, but I won't feel like I hate this woman. I would feel like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong because I only have these much followers? It's like I have to, maybe she's doing more than I am, because I only record a podcast every now and then, a podcast episode, maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month. So maybe she's doing more than I am. So instead of feeling like the green-eyed monster, we have to really do research and maybe in my case, listen to her podcast and see what her podcast is about, how many episodes she has recorded, or how often she records a new episode or she uploads a new episode. Is she scripting? Is she doing it about a certain topic? So it's the same with everything, people. Like if you're jealous or you feel like the green-eyed monster because your best friend has a great relationship and you don't, then for starters, if she's your best friend, you should feel happy about her relationship. But if you still feel like the green-eyed monster and you can't help it, it's natural, we're only human, then just look at what she's doing that has made her so successful in her love life. So sometimes that negative emotion of jealousy or feeling like the green-eyed monster will help us to push forward, to go the extra mile and do more for ourselves. All right, so the next idiom is seeing green. Seeing green is being jealous. For example, Mary was seeing green when her colleague received a praise for the project. So maybe Mary was doing a project and her colleague was too, but then her colleague maybe did a better one. So she was seeing green when her colleague received a praise and she did not. But maybe her colleague did a better job at it, so she could have transmuted or transformed her jealousy into something better, into fuel to becoming a better person. So, on the other hand, we have anger, and when channeled constructively, can drive us into overcoming obstacles and stand up for what we believe in. For example, to see red. I have an idiom for you now. To become very angry. For example, she saw red when she found out she had been lied to. I saw red when I found out my boyfriend was talking to his ex. So when have you seen red? Have you ever seen red? Yeah, so to see red, to become very angry. So yeah, sometimes we see red when people deceive us, but we could always transmute or transform that anger into fuel to becoming a better person. So if she saw red when she found out she had been lied to, in this example, maybe she should be more mindful and more aware of the people she talks to. Because people who lie to you are people who are not worth caring about. Remember that. People who lie to you are not people you should be caring about. So let me tell you about my friend Sarah, for example. She used to struggle with jealousy whenever she saw her friends excelling in their careers, and instead of letting it consume her, she decided to turn that jealousy into inspiration. She really became inspired by this other girl she was actually a receptionist. They were both receptionists at a hotel. And she was jealous that her friend always looked better than she did. I don't know why we women are like that. Men don't do that. They don't even care. But she was really jealous. And she didn't let that consume her. And instead, she started maybe going to the dentist to fix her teeth. Buying skincare products to look her best. So she turned that jealousy into inspiration. So Sarah also started setting specific career goals and worked tirelessly to achieve them. She used the success of others as a benchmark rather than a source of resentment. So remember that whenever you see somebody and you feel jealousy, or you feel like the green-eyed monster or something like that, remember that you can always change or transform or transmute or alchemize that energy into fuel for success. So now I have some tips for success. So some practical ways to harness these emotions for positive outcomes in our own lives are to reflect on times when jealousy or anger motivated you to take productive actions or achieve significant milestones. Yeah, so there's an idiom actually, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's an idiom in English, obviously, in American English, that is turn lemons into lemonade. So to turn negative situation into a positive one is to turn lemons into lemonade. Here's an example. After losing his job, he turned lemons into lemonade by starting his own business. So, and another tip is to embrace setbacks as opportunities for growth. Learn from them and let your emotions drive you toward achieving your dreams. Now, so those negative emotions, again, can be transformed and transmuted into fuel for success. So today we explored how negative emotions like jealousy and anger can serve as powerful triggers for success. And remember, please remember that it's completely normal to experience these emotions. What matters is how we use them to propel ourselves forward. And I have another idiom for you guys before we go. Outstanding in one's field. This means to excel in what you do. For example, she was outstanding in her field of study. All right, so keep striving for success and use your emotions as stepping stones to reach your goals. And before we wrap up, there's a lighthearted joke for you. Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for tuning into the ESL for You podcast. I hope you find today's pod. Well, what the heck is wrong with me, you guys? I'm stuttering here. I haven't been able to sleep well in about 2 months. So for about 2 months, I've been struggling with sleep. So I need to start ignoring people when they call me at midnight. Anyways, I was saying that I hope you found today's episode insightful and motivating. And join us next time for more tips on personal growth, English learning, and achieving success. Until then, remember to embrace your emotions. They might just be the key to your next big breakthrough. Remember that you can transmute emotions and you can alchemize emotions. You can transform your life. You're not alone. And many people struggle with their negative emotions, but I'm here to tell you guys that negative emotions can be a fuel to success. So thank you so much for listening. I'm your friend, host, and teacher, Fabi, and I hope you hit that like button and subscribe button or follow button. And if you want to drop a comment, thank you so much, because you will really help me boost my confidence, because I'm really losing it right now. Nah, I'm just kidding. It will really help me break through and start succeeding and transmute my own negative emotions and feelings and more. So thank you so much, and remember to take notes of those new idioms that you learned today. This is Fabi from the ESL for You podcast, and see you next time.